Alright, hey people on YouTube land, Zach Hall back here with another Bible review. And just what I mentioned before, if you like the channel and you like the content I put out, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on there. And to keep an eye out for more videos. I do have a couple more I'm going to be doing. I have one on a Church Bible Publishers Pew Bible. I wanted to do one on one that's more economic, more friendly in the price range. And then I also do have a review on the Common Man's 5th edition coming up. So if you do like that, make sure you subscribe, get all the notifications for that as well. But today we're doing the king of the wide margin Bibles, and that is the R.L. Allan wide margin. My edition here is the silver line, so it's got black goat skin, and then it's got the silver art gilding, or the silver gilding with the blue art gilding. Getting into this, it's a natural goat skin cover. And I encourage you, if you haven't seen my testimony of thankfulness, like I could never own one of these Bibles. I got this as a gift. I encourage you to check that out. It should be just one of my most recent videos. So don't think I spent a bajillion dollars on this. I did, and it was a gift, and I'm very thankful for it. But this does come in natural goat skin here, and it's got silver lettering instead of gold. And then on the spine there, you have Holy Bible and Allan. You have tooled hubs right there on the back. You even got a nick from the natural goat skin, so you see it's a natural grain. They just kind of treat the coat how it is. See here, he probably got snagged in some barbed wire right there or something. Different little things. The tooling line is beautiful. It is deep. Very well impressed in there. Then you also have a second tooling line on the outside here as well. Show you the back. Just a supple leather, thick. This is a thick goat skin. I really do like this, but it's so flexible. I didn't realize how much that calf split liner really makes a difference. It is so flexible. So this inner liner is a calf skin or it's calf split, but it makes it so just buttery and flexible. You have the silver gilt line on the inside. See there, it says goat skin. And then you have these thick navy end sheets here. I mean, these things are just absolutely thick. You can see that. Then you have some cardstock pages. You have a presentation. You're going to have your family record section here. So I sort of try and fill that out. Marriages, grandchildren, and then you do have one for deaths. Here's the title page for the Clarendon wide margin. So see R.L. and Allan Sons Publishers. Now, they didn't do this one per se. They outsourced this one to Youngblood, as we'll see here. But here's the royal license. This is really cool. I thought this was neat to have in the Bible. So this is just the Queen issuing the right for them to publish the King James in England and really in Great Britain. And so you see there, Brevier Clarendon wide margin, first published by Oxford University Press, but now it's done by R.L. Allan. This one is printed in the Netherlands on acid-free paper by Royal Youngblood in 2016. So I got this as 2020, but they did this edition in 2016. Here is the epistle dedicatory. So it ends there. And then you're going to have your index to the Bible, so the books of the Bible, their chapter, and what page they start on. And then you're going to get right into Genesis. And this paper is absolutely amazing. So it's either 45 GSM or 48 GSM, and if somebody in the comments knows, you can go ahead and put that down there. I would appreciate that. It's one of those two, and whatever one it is super thick paper. This is the closest paper in a Bible I've felt to regular book paper with retaining the characteristics of Bible paper. So it's still really flexible. It's still easy to churn. It's still really soft and smooth, but it is so thick that you can barely see any ghosting. I'm going to try to get down here and hopefully this camera will focus, but come on. Okay, and this is really close. So this is going to exaggerate the ghosting, if there is any. But you can see there, I mean, almost no ghosting on this paper. Is absolutely unbelievable. You can see faintly there, but I'm telling you, in person, when you have this, you can barely see anything. The center column reference is very well done. I mean, it's bold, but it's very small print. However, because this paper is so thick, this makes it very readable. And if anyone has the regular Brevier Clarendon, the regular size, I know that's printed on India paper. If you could let me know, if you have both of them, the wide margin and the regular, if it's harder to read this in the smaller one because that thinner paper. But I'm telling you, with this thick paper and no ghosting, it is very easy to read those center column references. They are small, they are in tiny print, but you can see there's a title page. You do get chapter summaries before the beginning of each chapter. Cross references work by putting the little tags in there. So you have A, B, C, D, and then if there's a note on the Hebrew or Greek, those will be tagged by numbers. They do have like comparison. So if you come across a cross reference and it says, you know, they go to this and then compare with this, they do that as well. But I mean, this Bible is just absolutely amazing. Now, go over the dimensions real quick just so you know what you're getting into. This is 9.5 by 7.5, but that's the goat skin cover. So this does have a semi-yap here, as you can see. It's got a generous yap. Not a full yap, but it definitely has a semi-yap. Way bigger than I've ever had on any other Bible, and it feels amazing. So the 9.5 by 7.5 is actually the goat skin cover. So you probably would knock off about 3/4, maybe half an inch from that. So you're talking about maybe 9 by 6 for the actual text block. So it's really not that big of a Bible for a wide margin. Now it is 1.5 inches thick. So the spine is 1.5 inches thick. Comes with 3 beautiful ribbons here. They're silver-ish. They almost look white in some light. They are absolutely gorgeous though. It does come with the white head and tail bands. And then we talk about the silver gilding. We'll open this up so you guys can see the blue. That blue art gilding is just absolutely beautiful. I don't even think this camera is doing it justice. It's a really light but intense blue. So I absolutely love it. You see the book is in the middle of the page instead of the outside, and then you have your running headers splitting the difference there. So it's on both sides. Page number at the bottom. They do start over new in the New Testament. Give you a shot of poetry so you can see what that looks like. So that's a fairly standard layout, you know, as far as that. It's the King James layout, double column, verse by verse. It reminds me a lot of the Cambridge Cameo because it's the same font. However, it is a different layout because Oxford did a little bit different. But it is the petite medieval Clarendon font. And we'll get to Matthew, and I'll show you whether this has self-pronouncing or not. This paper, I'm telling you, it's so thick that when you turn a couple pages, you think you're going to go a bunch of chapters, and it ends up being like 2 or 3 chapters at a time. It just cracks me up. I'm like, man, this thing's so thick. So here's the New Testament title page. Very simple. I like it. I just love this old font. It feels like a King James. Feels like, you know, like Jonathan Edwards, like preached out of this Bible, you know, type of thing. It's just really cool. So here's Matthew, and we're going to go ahead and see that there is no self-pronouncing at all. Not even on the hard names, not on the easy names, nothing. So I think, I don't even think if R.L. Allan does it anymore, but the blackface had self-pronouncing on everything. I mean, even the book title had self-pronouncing marks. So it's really kind of help you as a beginning reader. However, the Clarendon does not have any self-pronunciation. So you see we still have the chapter heading there. Book is still in the middle. You get your page number. It starts back over here. You have your center column references. So it's awesome. Now I did mark in this, so I'll go ahead and show you guys how the paper takes marking. It is not a red letter edition, by the way, so I want to mention that to you. Now I did mark with an 005, so that's one of the smallest pigmamicrons you can do. I just prefer to write with them. It's not because I was afraid the paper couldn't take it, but we're going to just see how amazing this is. So there's a note behind here, and I mean, you can see that, but there's no bleed through, and it's limited ghosting. And then here's the stuff I wrote on the other side. And the camera is showing that a little bit worse than what I'm seeing. So just so you guys know that. But really, it's just not bad at all. I can barely notice it. For example, if we do the underlines here, I'm sure we won't even be able to see those. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to find this in time. So that paper is just that thick. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So I'm going through Galatians, doing a series through that on my YouTube channel. So I'm studying that. So I was like, hey, I'm going to use this, break this thing in, use it for notes. And it is just absolutely amazing to use for notes. Now, each book does not start on a new page. So I'll show you that here real quick. See, Galatians starts halfway through that page. And it'll be like that for many other books as well. There's Ephesians. But this paper is just, oh my goodness, nothing better. I compared it to my Cambridge. So I will do a comparison between my Cambridge wide margin. The Cambridge doesn't even come close to the paper in this Bible. And I love the Cambridge, I really do. It's a 36 or 38 GSM, so it's a thick paper. But it is nowhere close to this Bible. Not even in the same range. Now, the Cambridge does have other features that we'll talk about when I do the comparison that you might like better, and in some ways I like better too, but overall I love the Allan way more. Just the art gilding's way more intense, it looks beautiful. The goat skin on the Allan's way more supple. The calf skin liner is better than the imitation liner from Cambridge. But you see we get to the end here, and you can see this is just straight ghosting, right? So this is just the stuff behind the page, and that's so faint. It's just unbelievable. So I wish you could just see, like, okay, so here. So that's where there's no text behind it. You can just see how clear that is. It makes it so readable. So this is only an 8.5, 9-point font, but because of the paper and the boldness of this font, it reads so easy. It's amazing. You're going to get a note section here, and I did do some counting. So this has 13 blank pages, so 13 Bible paper pages for notes. So that essentially comes out to 26 pages back and front. So you have you have 26 note pages here in the back, and you can do whatever you want with that. Again, with the thickness of it, I really wouldn't even have a problem writing on that. I'm definitely going to use them. Just got to figure out for what. Do some studies, maybe put a sermon or two back there. Then you're going to get the Bible index, the Oxford maps. So this index is pretty good size. And then you're going to get your maps. The maps are pretty good. The only complaints I have with them is that sometimes they're pretty bland as far as colors and just the way they're laid out. They're not really attractive to the eye. They're printed on not cardstock paper. It feels like it, but it's like a thinner cardstock. Honestly, it almost feels just like a little bit thicker than the Bible paper. And then you get this where you have this big map in the middle. Now, what they did was this is better because this actually does continue straight on, but then you don't have it crammed into the gutter where you can't read it. So I like that they did this. But you can see what I mean. It's just kind of bland colors. Some of these are just not specific at all. So for example, this would probably be the route of the Exodus, and all it's giving you is a picture of Egypt. And I know that's because they probably don't want to make people upset by not, having a route across the Red Sea, because I know Oxford, the people there probably don't believe that happened, but that is what it is. So it gives you that picture of Israel and Judah, the kingdom. Doesn't show you the extent of their kingdom, which is just, really weird to me. Here's the Palestine broken up in the days of Herod. This map's actually pretty good. I like that one. Then these are the missionary journeys of Paul. I actually don't mind this one. This is probably one of my favorite maps from them. I like how they do all of them on one page, so I'm definitely a fan of that one. And here's kind of just the divide of the Roman Empire, the different kingdoms during the time of Christ, and then Jerusalem in New Testament times. So some of those maps are helpful. To me, I like the Cambridge maps a little bit more, but again, I don't use maps that much as it is. And then back here, you're going to have 8 lined pages for notes. And this is the same thick 50 GS, I don't know. Actually, it might be 50 GSM paper. Yeah, I think that is right in the new edition. So it's super thick paper, 8 pages, which means 16 back and front. So you had 26 blank pages, 16 lined pages. That comes to a total of 42 pages for notes in the back. And that's not even including your wide margins. So you'll have plenty of room, plenty of space to take notes. And we'll get back here, and there's not really a lot of cardstock actually in the back of this. So you have that page, and then you have the tab page there as well. And that's it for cardstock. Now this thing is really bound well. It's a little tight, but it's I think that's to help it really last longer. So you got your tabbed in block here. This end sheet is really thick, so I don't have a problem with this poking through or breaking this paper because it's so thick. You can see this is bound here by Royal Youngblood. So Allan doesn't really do a lot of their bindings anymore. I know they do one through Charfleet. I think that's in England. So that might be the closest you would actually get to an Allan binding. But there it is. And it's still beautifully done. And people rave about Allan's corner works, and I will have to say, yep, the best corner work I have probably ever seen in a Bible in my life. Just absolutely beautiful. I really can't tell you how soft and flexible this is. Like, you just have to get one. Now this is they don't have this one anymore on Evangelical because, you know, Allan's, they sell out quick if people really like them. If you call them, they can normally tell you in advance when they're going to get some stuff in. They don't have any wide margins on there right now. You could probably go to Allan's website and get it. However, if you do wait or you call them, this was $225 from them. Now, I got this as a gift, so I didn't have to pay a dime, which I'm thankful for. I love this thing. It's going to be my daily writer. However, objectively studying this Bible and telling somebody, would I tell them to pay the $225 for this Bible? I would say if you want a lifelong friend, one you're going to pass down to your kids, one that will probably be in your family for, many generations, one that has thick paper you can put your notes on and it's going to last you till your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, one that's going to be a friend throughout your whole life. It's going to grow with you. The quality of the materials, the paper, the gilding, the goat skin. I think over time, if this thing lasted you 40, 50 years, what is that per year that you're actually paying? If it lasted you 10 years, that would be $22 a year for this Bible. So, if that was 20 years, you drop that down to, $10 a year. If it was 40 years, you're talking about $5 a year. So 50, you're talking about, around $3 a year is what you would actually be paying for this Bible. So if you're not a collector, not a person who just buys Bibles, but you're looking for the one, I want to use this for the rest of my life, if this lasts you 50 years, plus Allan has guarantees on this. Now, I got this through Evangelical Bible, so they have a $10-day return thing. So if you don't like it or there's something defective with your Bible, you have 10 days to return it to them and they'll replace it for free. However, Allan does have a lifelong guarantee on these if it breaks down naturally. So like if you're using it, pages start falling out, you can get in contact with them, and they're normally really good from what I hear about taking care of that. Now, I hope that doesn't happen with mine. I know that does happen sometimes, but for the most part, these things are built to last for a lifetime and be a family heirloom. So I would say it's absolutely worth the $225. Like if I had that and I could spend it, I would definitely buy one of these. And you can get the long primer Sovereign, you can get the long primer, you can get the regular Clarendon. The regular Clarendon's a little bit cheaper. It's around $160 instead of $225. Right now there's calfskin long primer Sovereigns that are $180. So I think that's worth the money for sure. Or it might be the calfskin long primer, it's $180. So there's still some really good deals on there from Evangelical on these Bibles. But like I said, if you want a Brevier Clarendon wide margin, call them, see when they're going to get their next shipment in. And I don't even know, you might be able to reserve a copy. I don't know how that works with them. But all I can say is this is definitely the king of King James wide margin Bibles. There's no comparison to this Bible. I'm going to do a comparison between the Cambridge and this one and just show you guys how amazing the paper and the quality is of this Bible. It's definitely worth the price. And the Cambridge, retail-wise, is actually about $100 more than this one. So if you bought the Cambridge wide margin from Cambridge and the goat skin is like $310, $315, just something ridiculous nowadays. This is $225, so you're talking about $100 cheaper. Now you can get the Cambridge wide margin cheaper on Evangelical Bible. But still, retail-wise, it doesn't come even close. So I hope this review is a blessing to you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or anything about that, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep an eye out for my future videos. So I hope you all have a great day. Take care, and God bless.